So that's Ebola, but how does it help spending £4 million on North Korea?
I think, we have to recognise that the development is complicated and we end up working in places with governments that we don't necessarily like, but actually, working in North Korea and trying to support people there is important just in terms of humanitarian, so basic kind of human decency.
We don't know where the money goes. I'm sure you're aware, Ms. Dodd, we have no record of where the money goes. There's no accounting trail.
To be honest, I can't speak precisely to sort of what we do in North Korea. It's not something I know in great detail.
Tell me the benefit then of funding contraceptive clinics in Malawi. How does that benefit British listeners and British voters?
I think it benefits British listeners and voters because British listeners and voters actually care quite a lot about the world. They care quite a lot about people living in the rest of the world. So I don't think it's fair to just paint it in a...
My listeners can't get cancer treatment in some parts of the country, and we're funding coils and contraceptives for girls in Malawi. How's that right?
Well, I think it is about creating a better world, one that's more prosperous, where more people are doing better. So having things like access to basic contraception means girls stay in school longer, they go on and get jobs better, they're not ill, that creates a better global economy, which is better for all of us.
We have people in Britain who can't get treatment. How can that be right?
I think we always have to make really difficult relative choices. We make them in lots of places in our budget. It's not easy. It's not straightforward. I wouldn't claim it's a black and white, this is absolutely the right answer to everything and that's the wrong answer. It's not a simple equation. We have to kind of pick what we spend money on.
Would you agree with me that at the very least where the money goes needs a review and we need an audit trail?
Absolutely, and I think it's important to remember in that context that UK aid is some of the most transparent in the world, so we know a lot about where UK aid goes and how we work with partners and how we work in other countries, but it's also some of the most scrutinised spending, government spending in the UK.
But why are we sending money to India?
We don't send very much money to India anymore. We're actually shutting down our programmes in India.
We are shutting it down, but we have been sending, if you look back over over many years, we've sent a lot of money to India. Why? Their economy could overtake ours in half an hour.
Well, I mean, it's one of these things, development's complicated, I guess, isn't it? But a huge proportion of the world's poor live in middle-income countries. They live in middle-income countries like India. There's something like hundreds of millions of people in India living in extreme poverty. So, yes, the Indian economy might be larger than ours.
There are children living in the UK in poverty, lastly, aren't there?
That's why I think it's right that we spend the other 99% of our budget in the UK.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.